I am here with Impa Kasanganay, PFL light heavyweight fighting Marthin Hamlet at PFL 7, August 4th. First of all, Impa, you're a couple of fights, three fights really into this now and at a new weight class in light heavyweight. This maybe not so new anymore. How are things feeling at the new home?
And everything's great at the new home. Credit to my coaches and everybody at Kill Cliff and DK Fitness. It's like, man, like they see it in me, and I'm grateful to be here. It's cool. It's like I always say, I never really focus on the weight. It's about fighting another man. Yeah, and I can definitely see the benefits. Of course, things are going very well and going to continue to, and claim these victories. And next week, at the end of the year, on the final, all that. It's just, man, like I love it. Enjoy. I get trained fully, body's healthy, not taking injuries or damage as much because I'm just, I'm living life, fighting around where I walk around, and I like PFL is awesome, man. Like I get to stay active, I get to talk to cool people in interviews. Like I'm just enjoying. I'm full of joy. I'm full of joy, enjoying life.
Well, that is very good to hear. You talk about, not taking the injuries. When you look at it from that perspective, do you think maybe this extends your career even a little further down the line? Because you're not
Yeah,
putting your body through hell.
for sure. Yeah, I say I would like I I could fight if I could fight every weekend, I would. I love it. When I think about my career and like the longevity of it, yeah, I mean, the weight cuts probably aren't the healthiest things for us, no matter how great we do a weight cut and then go fight the next day. So those little details, right? And I can like enjoy the process of food and like things I like, but obviously not be gluttonous, but still having that ability to recover, get right out, get right to it, understand my body at this way, understand my body and my brain at this line. I can feel it better. And also too, like when I played college football, I was 245 pounds, and then I started MMA like 235, 230, even in college, right? So I'm always used to operating at this weight and this level, and then going down to 70 or 85 and to 70, then back to 85. And this is like, okay, like I see the benefits there and the way things work. Like getting to be the full me and who I'm called to be, like I'm liking it. So yeah, I definitely think there's a huge benefit for my career. And I just thank God this is where I am.
Excellent. Good stuff. Now, when we talked last time, it was ahead of the Challenger Series, and you spoke about, hey, I can get into the season, go all the way. Maybe after that, I'll take my motorcycle down to Africa, drive across the continent, type of thing.
Yes,
You
sir.
have been perfectly on track to kind of live out that dream. Win, win, win. You're really more than halfway there. It's two fights. What has this journey been like for you?
The first thing that came to my mind on this journey is me living and answering prayers, right? Speaking things into existence, putting the work in, having the faith, and putting the work together. And it's awesome. Like it's cool talking to you about this because it's like that's what I plan to do. Obviously, we'll claim this victory next Friday, one fight at a time. Thank God, give them praise. Appreciate my coaches, love them, my teammates, everybody's challenged me. Go for a nice ride, turn the phone off, pray, help my teammates get ready for their fights. Come back. Coach is gonna let me only ride on Sundays again until the championship. Go claim that victory, become a world champion. Give God the glory. Obviously the money and everything that comes with it. Save, help those that I love, get the right investments. Then I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna give that belt to my mom, my dad, my coaches, whoever's gonna take it for me. I'm gonna ride and I'm gonna ride and I'm gonna ride as far as I possibly can. And then we get back, I'm gonna ride, put some more miles on the bike. My dad and mom said that they were getting in the RV and ride with me. So I tried to get my dad on a motorcycle, but he said yeah at first. My mom was like, "That's not happening." So I was like, "All right," but maybe he'll surprise me and get on the motorcycle. But I'm like, those are my people. Like my brother and sister, go see them. Go see my brother in Tennessee, see my sister, and all that they're doing. So I'm gonna ride around, man, and enjoy the beautiful United States. I like to go three different countries. Definitely stop in Africa, and that'd be awesome to ride from the most northern tip to the most southern tip of Africa and ride through and like in and out. But yeah, I think it's. I'm excited. I'm just looking forward to living this life and committing to the adventure and going where God's called me. Is it's it's cool because like we talked about this before. We're living in it now, and it's just keep trusting God to have faith that He's faithful to complete it. So I'm grateful.
That's a mom right there when she says, "Nah, you're not getting dad on a motorcycle."
Oh yeah,
Have you done, just as an aside, have you done any crazy trips on the bike over the years? Like, what's kind of your biggest adventure that you've
yeah.
done?
Oh man, I got some stories for you. So I did Fort Lauderdale to North Carolina, so South Florida, North Carolina. rode that, then rode back the next day and stopped in Savannah, Georgia, came back down all the way down to South Florida. So I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, like all through that beautiful ride. Did Austin, Texas to Dallas, Texas, and then back. But on the way to Dallas, took a 13-hour trip, like a long roundabout way through country roads, literally rode through like a field and these country roads in the middle of the night. One lane, dirt roads, awesome. I did Oh, the cool thing about that trip too was the girl that I was dating at the time, awesome person, but obviously we're not dating. But it was Father's Day weekend. I was coaching at UFC Austin. I said, how cool would it be if we go surprise him for Father's Day? So we went out there, we did that. Great man, huge inspiration in my life, and like I'll always be grateful for him. And but ended up working out, and then rode back, took like the hill country in Texas, which was just incredible. Then I was in Wales last year with Delano at the PFL semifinal before he fought Roy McDonald. And I went all around, man. I slept outdoors. I had this hired, as they say over there in Europe. I hired this Harley. I rode onto this property, this cottage. My American brain was like, oh, it's a cottage. It must be a museum. It was this person's house, but the sweetest people. If y'all see this, thank you so much for having me at your house. Showed me that their old house is probably over 500 years old. Thatch roof, used to have that. Beautiful garden, backyard. Then I rode all around. And the day of Delano's fight, people didn't know about this, my motorcycle broke down. I'm like an hour away from the venue, and I had to go to the hotel to ride, but thank God these motorcyclists was there. And he's like, I'll ride you into the city. He would give me a ride to the city. I hopped the back of his motorcycle and we rode all the way to the Welsh countryside, made it from the coast, got there in time for the fights. Delano wins by knockout. I went last time I was in Vegas, I did Red Rock Canyon, Blue Diamond, I think it's crossing or something like that, rode all around. It was a lot of fun. I was gonna go to California and go surf, but I had to change of plans. And man, like I rode all the way around South Florida, like from Miami to Orlando and back. Um, yeah, that bike, and I've had some fun times, and I would love to do more and more with motorcycles, whether it's like Harley Davidson or Indian motorcycle, BMW, or whoever, like Moto Guzzi. I love motorcycles, and I could talk about them all day. This will become a motorcycle interview more than an MMA interview before you know it. So I love bikes, man. It's the adventure, man. I just love it. I love it. So
Well,
yeah,
I don't know bikes, but I love travel. It's very cool to hear you had those experiences and met some very nice people on the way too. That is absolutely
oh,
awesome.
definitely
Uh,
did. Yeah.
coming back to the MMA side of it, we talk about the PFL as it is something different, a different sort of animal than your run of the mill promotion where you just book a fight based on popularity or whatever. This is more sport oriented, it's more tournament oriented. Did you feel the difference going through this regular season compared to other promotions that you fought for?
Yeah, compared to the Russians that are fought for, what I like about PFL is I get to earn my way up. Not saying you don't earn, and this is no slight to anybody that ever trained with, but I'm just saying like you earn your way up within that season. You you fight, get your points, you move forward. Like so, there's nobody to blame. There's nothing to cry about. You go get it. You accept the responsibility, right? What I like about the other promotions too, and I think it's solid. Like if you can become popular and if you can know how to market yourself, you might be great in other promotions as well. But I think it also works for you in PFL. It's just like the cream rises to the top. The best rises to the top at each season, right? What I love about it, then like if Rob Wilkinson returns or uh Maheta returns, like that'd be really cool because then they're solid fighters. And I understand like I don't condone or support cheating. Okay, but I'm saying that them as a fighter doesn't I don't think that really took away from them as a fighter overall. But like the level of fighters, you always have to be sharp. You can't just relax and then chill and be like, okay, like I did this last season, so I gotta do it. And it's very, like you said, sport oriented. So like if the Patriots were champion last year, you still gotta go get it again. It's not just handed to you. And that to me is cool. Um, yeah, there's a popularity factor to it. So you see some people get passed up, but hey, PFL says, come on, bring it. Get your points, you know what you need to do. And I love to say like learned this when I played football. Great time players make great time plays and great players make big time. Of course I'm gonna mess it up. Big time players make big time plays in big time games, and like that's the PFL kind of like pushes. Like if you go get it, you go get it, you go get it, you go get it, you make it to the top, and I love that. I love that. I'm blue collar, get after it. move forward, work, go claim your victories. And I love being part of the PFL.
Well, you're absolutely right on that. Obviously, they push the more points for the finishes and stuff. You touched on something there that I was gonna bring up in a little bit. I might as well jump to it now, and that is the Rob Wilkinson, uh, Minaretta, the 10 suspensions we saw in Las Vegas that has led to the PFL bringing in USADA, and that's an organization that you should be very familiar with, of course.
Yeah.
Is there any part
Yep.
of you that went, man, I just got away from those early morning visits, and now I got to get up for them again?
No, I'm excited about USADA. Like it's more so that PFL is looking to do it professionally. You saw how the UFC grew once they had it, right? Of course, there are fighters who are cheating. They got busted, all that stuff. And then, but you saw people, like I said, the cream rises to the top. You know, rising tide raises all ships, and people were just it made the overall standard of what it's about better, so you can get better investors overall. Like when you go towards excellence, excellence attracts excellence. So I respect it. I like USADA. I see them all the time at the gym anyway. Like they're there for like all the guys and other promotions. So for me, it's cool when I walk in. I'm like, "What's up, guys?" And I would see the same people who had tested me before I was released from the UFC and all that stuff like that. Now I'm like, cool, like let's go. I'm ready. Even I funny enough, there at the gym the other day. I was like, "You here for me?" Like, no. I'm like, okay, well, I'm ready. You know, I've been drinking my water. I'm ready to pee. But it's cool, man. Like I like it, and it keeps people healthy too, right? Like somebody gets cracked in the head, gets brain damage. And then they found out the person was cheating. There's this it's not as honorable, right? People are gonna still find a way to break the rules. I think at the end of the day that they're gonna have to talk to themselves, you know. So I'm fine with it. Come wake me up at 1 in the morning. Find me on my motorcycle at 1 in the morning. I probably would be like running back home, but I will always, like I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Like I don't stress it at all. Like and I love the fact that I've always been a clean athlete and I still get to be that. So I like that you saw this.
Is the system pretty much the same as it was in the UFC from what you've seen, like the whereabouts and everything? Or are there any differences that have been explained to you? Or
No, not so much of a difference. I mean, just some things are kind of new. Like to me, that just or I forgot. I guess I don't remember. Because it was like one stint with the UFC, but the it was pretty much similar. I just couldn't tell since it was new that they were doing more of like an introductory. Here's your whereabouts, where you generally. We don't have the system in place yet to where I can say, okay, I'm here now. So the cool thing is I can go to Miami now and back and not have to worry that, oh crap, I'm going here. I'm on the highway. Like they understand, and there's that. But I'm all for it. I'll put the app on my phone. I think USADA does a solid job. I'm pretty sure since my time in the UFC, they definitely have grown, right? So they've always wanted to get better. And so I've been sure it's a lot more seamless process. So yeah, I'm good for it.
good stuff. Now we got to talk about this fight, Marthin Hamlet on August 4th, and this is a semifinal. First up, I mean, when you look at him, what are you expecting to see? How do you see this one going?
Expect Martin to come bring a fight. I expect him to, be in a battle, right? Like I say, expect a battle, expect a victory, but never expect a victory without a battle. And I know he wants it, right? And I know he wants to come bring it, and that's what's awesome, man. Like I've talked to him a few times before we ever knew we'd fight each other. I know he's come through the gym that I trained at when we are previously known as Black Zillions, way before I was even here. Um, Man, like I know he's a solid fighter. Coach Salmon's a solid coach that he has, and all the people he's around. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity and the honor to, have this as in a sense, like a feather in my cap, right? And I like it. Right. I respect him. I think he has another kid on the way. I think that's the last time I talked to him. Right. So God bless him and his family. I know that's always awesome motivation, and I know that brings for a great matchup. So I expect myself to go dominate this fight. Claim this victory, impose my will. And show respect and move forward. If we meet again, we meet again. You know.
And then, the part of this being a semifinal, of course, is that there's the other semifinal on the other side on the same night. And when you look at that, Josh Silveira obviously is there. I mean, how do you see that one playing out against Ty Flores?
Man, that's an interesting fight. It's funny. I feel like a lot more people are counting Ty Flores out than need be. Josh has been showing that he's been growing. Josh is an awesome guy. Like he's been working hard. I like what he was doing last fight. He's been getting his exits and he's using his wrestling and he's finding where he likes to be in a fight. Right. So it was cool. I still think Josh can get it, but I don't discredit Ty's dogness in him. He's got good coaches. So I think that fight's a toss up. And we'll see. No disrespect to either guy. It's just I've been so focused, I guess, on my fight that I'm willing to fight whoever, either one of them, when the final comes. So I know I just want to fight the better one of the two. Whoever the better one is, that's who I want to fight at the final, and that's all respect to both of them because they're good men, and I think Ty drags. He can put that pressure on people, and he does that well. Josh mixes it in with his striking and his wrestling in a good way, and he has his jujitsu, and he's had his awesome submissions, and he attacks, and he has excellent coaching. So um, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see.
Well, I am looking forward to the possibility either way. Looking forward to this fight and just overall. And I think we talked about this a little last time out, but it's like the PFL just keeps exploding right now. It's the Jake Paul signing, the Ngannou signing, the USADA coming in, and now you've got this situation. Like the world is absolutely crazy right now. I mean, we've got crazy weather, and apparently the U.S. government has alien bodies somewhere, and apparently the PFL might be buying Bellator. Don Davis says there's a big announcement coming up. There's been rumors. I mean, just being part of this right now, what has it been like for you?
Been awesome, man. It's been like we went to earlier in the conversations about how like living in answered prayers. Like I want to be part of something great. I want to, like I got to be champion and like we remember when like Strike Force was bought and how there's a big blow up, right? And I get to be a part of that and seeing guys like some of them. I saw this crazy post, say Poirier, Hooker, all these guys who were probably close to retirement. Robbie Lawler had an excellent career, and he was part of that Strike Force. When they got bought, it's like I get to be a part of that in my own way. So I've seen it. So if you don't, they say if you know your history, you can know where you're going. If you know your past, and you know where you came from, you have a great direction of where you're going to. So like I love history, right? And going to Texas and the Alamo, like learn the history of the United States and growing like though it's not a perfect past, man, like what a great country to live in. And I think like the no promotion is perfect. Like everybody you could always nitpick or whatever, but man, we're going in the right direction. I'm so grateful to be a part of this and have it in my own life, right? I'm 29 years old. Start training at 24, young in this, growing in this, become world champion this year, go claim this victory. I just want to claim the victory at the title at the end of the year, be a part of something that's growing. Man, PFL buys Bellator. I want to fight the light heavyweight champ from Bellator. Let's go. I respect him and whatever his name is, and I've seen him fight, but his name's
Dean
slipping my mind right
Nemkov.
now. Yeah, Nemkov, right? And he's a solid fighter. So like those are the fights that you want. Those are the fights you want to see. Those are the things that like when I first started fighting, I was sitting on a college football bus, my last football game, talking to my friends Cliff, who does a lot of my media, or the other part of my media team, him and Peyton, but Cliff, we're on the bus. Like, man, I believe I'd do something special. Like, see McGregor, see all these guys. I believe I'd do something special, become world champion one day. And I didn't even train yet. I was just like, this is something that God definitely put in my heart. And now I'm here, one step at a time, one day at a time, one fight at a time, one moment at a time, one second at a time. And we've been putting the work in. It's like, God, it's good. So to be a part of all this, I'm excited. To be a part of all this, I'm at peace. To be a part of all this, I'm trusting God, and I'm happy. And like, God's been faithful to me when I've been unfaithful, right? So it's like just the fact that I'm talking to you. You're talking to me about something I love to do, fighting and motorcycles. I'm like, we could talk about this for hours. What do you want? It's like, what do you want to talk about, right? Like, I'm yeah, like, I could have been doing anything, and I'm here being interviewed. I get to fight on ESPN. I get to do things that the day that I do get married, the day that I do have kids, like they're gonna just be like, "Dad, you did that." I'm like, "Yeah, I did," and like, I'm not gonna be super dad one day or super husband. That stuff to me is cool because it's very rarely do we get a chance of like be a part of get an opportunity to be a part of major events in history, sports, fighting, life, novels, wars, whatever it may be, like wherever you're called to be in life, like your path is your path. And the fact that I have the honor and privilege to be a part of the PFO's growth and time, I'm very grateful. Like even PFL, they flew me out to Oklahoma City to do a deal with Century and like do a photo shoot. Like how cool is that? Like maybe if I was in the UFC, I wouldn't be getting that right now. I'm just being where I am. The grass is green and God's growing it, and harvesting, and gonna save. And if there's ever slow time or waiting for the next season, like I know I can eat off of what I'm getting now, and I'm blessed. So if you can't tell, I'm pretty happy to be part of the PFL in this time period and to see what's gonna happen. And aliens, hopefully they're just cool with us, right? Yeah.
You can definitely tell how happy you are. I mean, that just shines through, man, and it is fantastic to see. I love that you brought up the Strike Force comparison because they were having their heavyweight Grand Prix that they closed off on. Bellator is doing this lightweight Grand Prix right now, and you're right, all that talent that came in, it's bigger things ahead. Imp, I want to thank you again for the time today, man. There's no better point to leave off than that. Super positive, super looking forward to your fight. August 4th, PFL 7. Best of luck. Looking forward to seeing more of you this year.
Thank you.